Hello everyone. Today I am going to talk about quartiles and interquartile range. Interquartile range is one of the very important measure of dispersion. Okay, so but to understand interquartile range or quartile deviation, we should understand what is quartile. So what it is? See, suppose if I have just 1 minute. Yes, okay. So suppose if I have only one straight line and I want to divide it into two equal parts, so I need only 1 point, right? Similarly, if I have one straight line and I want to divide it into three equal parts, then I need 2 points to divide it into three equal parts. Similarly, if I want to divide it into four equal parts, I need 3 data points. Like this. Okay, so the 3 data points which divide the data into 4 equal parts are quartiles. So now look at this diagram. Here we have 3 data points, which is also known as first quartile, second quartile and third quartile. It divides our data into 4 equal parts. So as we know that total data is always 100%. So if we divide 100% into 4 equal parts, every segment will carry 25%. 100 divided by 4, which will be 25. Okay, so that is why every segment carries 25%. Okay, so from smallest to the first quartile, there will be 25% of data. Similarly, from first quartile to second quartile, there will be 25% data. Same will occur in between second and third quartile and the largest value. So if someone asks you what is first quartile is a point below which 25% data exists and above which 75% data exists. Why 75? Because if we add up the values of each segment above first quartile, then it is 25 plus 25 plus 25. That means 75%. Similarly, what is second quartile? Second quartile is a point below which 50% data falls and above which 50% data falls. Similarly, what will be the interpretation for third quartile? Third quartile is a point below which 75% data falls and above which 25% data falls. We can also understand quartiles by considering the example of quarterly report. In every organization, there are at least some reports which we have to give quarterly. So what we do in this case is we divide the 12-month period into 4 equal parts, and then we have to give the report after every 3 months. Okay, so 12 divided by 4 is 3. That is why we have to give report after every 3 months, which we said it is a quarterly report. Okay, similarly, just like we divided 12 months into 4 equal parts, similarly we have to divide our data into 4 equal parts. So this is quartile. Now I will tell you how to compute quartiles using Microsoft Excel. So suppose we have age of 20 patients and we want to compute first, second and third quartile. So this will be, so to use quartile we have to use the function quartile. So we have to type is equal to quartile, just select it and then select the range. Then the first thing which we have to give in argument is array, the second is quarter. So it's a first quarter, so I have to select first quarter. Similarly, I can compute quartile, second quartile. So I can again use the quartile function. Then again give the range. Then this time I have to select median value, the second quartile. Just select it and enter. Similarly, the third quartile. Okay, so you can see that computing quartile in a Microsoft Excel is very easy and one-step process. Now try to understand what is interquartile range. Interquartile range is also known as IQR. So IQR is the abbreviation for interquartile range. What it is? It is the difference between third quartile and the first quartile. So that means what it represents? It represents central 50% of the data. This part, central 50% of the data. So if suppose IQR of my data is 30 years, so what it means is central 50% data lies in between the range of 30 years. Okay, so now I hope you understand the concept of interquartile range. Now we will quickly review how we can compute interquartile range in Microsoft Excel. To compute interquartile range in Microsoft Excel, what we have to do is we have to use we have to calculate quartiles first, and then we have to use the formula of interquartile range, which is third quartile. So I directly have to select the cell where I have computed the third quartile minus the first quartile. So this is how I can compute interquartile range. In this data set, interquartile range is 1, which means that the central 50% data lies in between range of 1 only. Next measure of dispersion is quartile deviation. What is quartile deviation? It is interquartile range divided by 2. So let me just write the formula for you for quartile deviation. So quartile deviation is equal to IQR divided by 2. So here this will be 1 divided by 2. So in this data, quartile deviation is 0.5. As quartile deviation is interquartile range divided by 2, so that is why it is also known as semi-interquartile range. In this data set, the value of interquartile range is 1 only. So that means this data is having a very less dispersion. Okay, so the variation is very less in this data set, and we can see that the maximum and minimum value for this data set is 20 and 24. So all 20 observations lies between 20 and 24 only. So that is why we are getting interquartile range of 1 only, and which indicates that there is very less variation in my data set. Okay, so because interquartile range is an indicator of measure of dispersion, the lesser is the value of interquartile range, the lesser the variation is in the data set. One more thing which I want to add here is, whenever we choose median as a measure of central tendency, it's good idea to represent interquartile range as measure of dispersion. Why? Because interquartile range is based upon quartiles, and it represents central, it represents positional values. Okay, and what is median? Median is the positional average. So there is something common between the median, which itself is the second quartile, and interquartile range. That is why we should opt interquartile range with median. So with median, I should write within bracket IQR to represent both measure of central tendency as well as measure of dispersion. If you have any doubt, please drop an email to me, or you can also drop your query in the comment section of YouTube, and if you like my video, please like it and subscribe my channel. Thank you for watching.